Hey, hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page by page about common sense. I try to keep it down under nitty-gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, I'm very fucking important. And not important to liberals, libertarians, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like Yo Arse, people like DMT, people like weed, people like marijuana, people who cannot think on cloud nine. Please remove yourself. Listener's discretion is advised. I'm your friendly neighborhood Sexologist. Yeah, I have tough love. Okay, yeah. This is why I don't cater to the masses of asses. But of course, too many people fit in the same box. So those people who are in the bigger box will be easily destroyed and eaten in this matriarchal prison planet. You can call it whatever you want and whatever you desire is still the same because we're in the physical realm. Now, let's get on with the topics down here. Now, I'm going to try to make it short, under 10 minutes. Sometimes I go 5 minutes. Sometimes I go 14 minutes. I don't know. But I like to ramble on just a little bit. But what this video is going to be about is about how to have diversity in relationships. I've learned this at a very young age, that everybody has their particular type of taste. Okay? But to be the better person is to be versatile in all forms of psychology for every type of relationship. But I'm not saying to turn like a homo or turn into a transvestite or turn into anybody that you kind of feel uncomfortable with, or becoming a dyke or a lesbian. I'm not telling you to turn on those things, because the more you transform yourself, the more you basically, it could be a sense of mental psychosis, a mental illness to those who may be looking from the outside. And you don't want to be judged that way, do you? Okay, so let's be careful with the self. The self of diversity should have certain limitations, but then again, everybody to each his own. Okay, so me, I would never be homosexual, no matter how much anyone pays me. Be fucked up the ass. But of course, sometimes I may think like, oh, should I use a strap on to fuck this man? Okay, sometimes I used to think like that. Okay, but then would that make me gay? I would just blindfold myself. I know it's a man I'm fucking with a dildo, but I'm not trying to try that shit though. But it never happened though. I'm glad to say that never happens, but at least I'm not fucking though. It's the imagination that can run wild. But in my past, okay, I used to just be using strap-ons for women, use vaginas all of the time, and I get paid for the services, but it's more than just that. It depends on the particular type of taste. But I don't condone anything that you feel uncomfortable with, okay? So, let's say you get into a relationship, okay? And you're a woman, okay? Now, this message is for women, okay? Now, women are the most confusing creatures on earth, the biggest liars, the biggest narcissists in the world. So just let's get that out the way. I'm not saying you, particularly if you're a female watching this video, that you're a narcissist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you feel that you're entitled, that's a narcissistic trait. You're entitled. You don't have to work for it. You feel that your pussy is gold. You feel that just your beauty itself should be put on a pedestal, your beauty. Now, the thing is that you don't have a personality, like you don't know what a personality is. But if you do have a personality, which I have met some females who are dragon females, conversationalists, they can talk their assholes just as much. I can talk for 2 or 3 hours, and I have encountered at least 2 or 3 of them in my lifetime. And I'm fucking 46 years old this year. I've only encountered like 2 or 3 of them. Let me see. A Tree, a Joanna, and there was another female, though. I think you can say I'm gonna round it off to 4 because I forget their names if they're not that intelligent. Okay, intelligence comes with a greater personality. So the more intelligence you have, the better personality you have. We got that out the way too, right there. Now, so you're a female, you encounter a male, but you're not sure yourself because you didn't study yourself. It is very important to learn about yourself before you get into any relationship. I teach my daughters this. The mind is a complex thing. And once you get the chance to taste what it is, to experience what it is, you may not want it in the overall end. So you have to have a balance, okay? And what I'm talking about in this video, because I'm an expert when it comes down to relationships, because I try very hard to see these flaws in these women, but it's not probably a flaw, it's just ignorance and how they was raised, okay? But there's some things you just can deal with, and there's some things you cannot deal with. Okay, my problem with most women is that she's not a virgin or she has possession tendencies, that she can control her own bipolarism, or certain possession, she gets possessed so she can control herself, or a certain type of OCD, which is too extreme for me. I can deal with a crazy bitch, but the thing is that depends on if she's trying to hurt me or harm me, or anybody, as a matter of fact. But if she's trying to hurt herself, it depends on what it is, because I've talked to some crazy bitches who do crazy things, and to me it was like a turn on. But at the same time, it's like, as long as she gives me some validation that she's doing these things on purpose, I'm okay. But if she's not doing these things on purpose, there's a problem. So the moral, if you're meeting a guy, you got to know at least about 5 to 10 things that you're flexible with. Okay. For example, you see some guy doing that. Everything, my penis is nice. Everything else is nice. If that one thing turns you off, you may have a problem. You're being too picky. Most women in general are too shallow or picky. Now, there's a good picky and then there's a bad picky. Men are not as shallow as women, but men, it depends on how you format it, okay? So men doesn't look at looks as much as women do. Women put a big emphasis on looks. Men only focus on how good the pussy is and how you got some kind of shape, okay? They'll give you a chance. Men have more personalities than women overall, so they have more things to do to keep themselves distracted. It depends on the woman to let him in. So you meet a guy, and basically he just doesn't have a personality. That's because that's reflecting your personality, okay? And what is a soulmate? What is a kindred spirit? I'm getting off a little topic, yeah, I know. But a soulmate is who you make out to be. A kindred spirit is someone that happens about 4% of the time in the world. That means you're completely a match in personality, looks by 90%. Not completely 100%, but you're pretty close to personality. You have so much in common. That's a kindred spirit. So if you could love yourself, if you could understand how to study, okay, yourself and be flexible. If this is one thing wrong about a man, this right here, a mole and the teeth and then the glasses, and okay, you got slightly balding, you got to compensate. And women take a big toll. They don't understand that when you age, you're going to start looking ugly to him. But it's not going to affect him that much. It's going to affect you because you only looked at the outer beauty of a person. Me, what I have to say about that is, if you want to get sexual, you shouldn't look at a man's face. Me, I don't look at women's faces. I detest when women look at me on my face. They think I'm bored when I'm trying to fuck with them when they're strap on and shit, especially when they're not a virgin. And then I'm like, okay, I don't see the purpose of having sex. Sex is the fundamental thing when you're in a relationship. Now, for other people, maybe touching and petting and shit like that. But I'm pretty sure that y'all women should know that men are a sexual beast, right? So obviously, it's like, if you want to be attracted to a male and you're sapiosexual, you should tell him that. I like mental stimulation before. That means you're really not truly physically attracted to him. Okay? Because me, I get turned on simply by stimulation or innocence. See, I'm flexible. If a female don't have good looks, she better have at least some kind of, quality, okay, that I can use, that I can desire. Just like you should. There's something. And it's not, for men, it's not materialistic. For you women, it's materialistic. So that's the problem with women. Women are, okay, he ain't good at shit. He ain't good at shit. You better have that money. That's what women do. And that's a really terrible trait, okay, because it's materialistic, based on materialistic traits. Take away the money. Take away the sex. What else do you have? That's what I look at. So when I'm dealing with my wife, my ex-wife, I said to her, you don't want to give me any stimulation sexually. I am physically attracted to her, but that reduced. She wants it more. She wants more sex. But I said, okay. When I first met her, I said, hey, why don't you we do some mental, playing intellectual games and stuff like that. And she's like telling me, okay, no, she's not really that type of person. She's not an intellectual. She's not a gamer. She don't like to talk about anything. It doesn't turn me on. And on top of that, I chose her because the voices told me to get married to her. So I just told her straight up the truth. I said, hey, give me a sister. My sexual drive go up for both of you. See, there's certain things I trade for. So you should do the same without the materialistic game, without the fucking sexual thing, because that's what it comes down to, you guys and your women, okay? So you meet a guy and he has a few flaws. What else does he have? What else can turn you on about him? Let's be honest about it, okay? If you need a man to be 6 foot tall, that's a major flaw. Okay, because that may turn you on sexually, but it's going to fade over time. And most guys who are really attractive, you better actually be matching his beauty. You better be matching his fucking beauty, because if he's 6'2" and you small and your pussy get out of whack, you knock it out of the box or some shit like that, then what? You gonna hurt that man? I said, no, you ain't looking for no kindred spirit. You ain't looking for no kindred mate. You're looking for someone who could just be your slave, okay? I don't want no slave. I tell a female all the time, you're free to go. I give my wife free reign. I say, hey, you have the police, you have professionalism, or you have obedience. Which one is it? Okay. When you get tired, I got a plan for that shit too. So if you have a plan you set out and for all the problems that a person may get tired of, you're pretty diverse. That's why I tell females in advance. I don't tell them later on. And it's very important to tell people of the opposite sex what your plans are. Okay? Tell them what your plans is. I told my wife, I said, if you feel like you're being mentally abused, which you're mentally abusing me from the beginning go, then you know you have 3 choices. And those 3 choices was very flexible. And I think everybody should be doing this. You should never basically get in a relationship without putting all your cards on the table. This is what you need. This is what you desire. This is what you need. This is what you desire. You don't do that, then you're an idiot. But most people don't do this because they look at the first value, first the image of a person first. And you shouldn't be looking at the image of a person first. You should be looking at the long-term goals. And it's not just about fucking money either. The long-term goals. And of course, for men, it's real simple because it's more sexual or it's maybe more mental. For women, it's more material. Okay? It's more material. And trying to be sneaky on the side, okay? Because it's like this. If I catch you, I'm cutting it off, okay? So that's why I give you a warning, because I'm a psychopath. If I told you I'm a psychopath, then you know not to do certain things. It's not hard, okay? You tell someone something this, I say, you tell me something dangerous. I say, hey, I don't know if I can deal with that, but can you give me a chance there? You got to negotiate a deal if you break some sort of rules or some shit. If you told me you had an entanglement with someone, you disappear. You just go. Okay, I'm not going to let you go freely. Okay, I'm not going to be the nice guy. I did warn you. Now, a lot of girls may get turned on by that. Okay, so that's a dangerous thing. Women disappear more than men do in relationships. So there's no hell's fury than a man scorn. So So the moral of what I'm saying is that have diversity when it comes to getting into any relationship. And getting into a relationship is complex. But if you found a kindred spirit, which I try to seek all of the time, okay? A kindred spirit is someone who matches your personality and also your beauty and levels of intellectual properties, personality-wise, physically-wise. You are completely, it does happen 4% of the time now here. Okay? And I was shocked when I was doing some research on this shit. I was like, yo. It's amazing how people can meet someone, you don't even know them, but then you start talking and then click, everything matches. From sexuality to mentality. It's not just a regular soulmate who you make out to be. Someone who make out. Because if I met myself, okay, I would love myself to death. I know I care about myself. And I'm not narcissistic when I say that. Because I take care goddamn well of my personal health and safety and everything. And if a female is missing some of those elements, I'm gonna have to compensate for your flaws. Because I don't really have that many flaws. Okay, let me see. What kind of flaw? You have to think like this to yourself from time to time. What kind of flaws do I have? I can be kind of overbearing. When the more education you have, the more education you have, you can be overbearing to anyone. You can sound condescending. And let me see what else. I have a part of OCD. That means I like certain things to be cleaned a certain way. If they're not cleaned a certain way, then I think I'm relating that to your disrespect to me. So I used to tell my wife, don't walk on the floor barefooted. She'll walk on the floor barefooted. She don't care. I said, well, make sure you wash these dishes a certain way. Because if I clean, I don't want no poison back in my body that's on the spoons. So wherever she works at, she's basically not cleaning the dishes right. I know she's not. But her boss is not going to fire her. But you understand what I'm saying. There's certain things that you have, some pet peeves that you must bring to the table. And if that person can't fix that problem, you may have to give it a replacement. Okay. You got to give people chances, because sometimes it may take some time. Sometimes some people learn faster with other people. Oh, okay, I'm going over 10 minutes now here. But the more what I'm saying again and again is to have diversity in a relationship. Like for example, I'll say that I can handle a female who's butt ass ugly, but at the same time, she gonna have to give up a little bit of money. Okay, just like what women do. Okay, so I'll say to a female all of the time. I say, in my past, as me being a fetish gigolo, most females was basically like average looking to below average. Okay, and they will pay me for my services. You see, you've been upfront, so that makes me a better man for being upfront. As I said before, it's very important to be upfront with people. If you start hiding shit, you start bringing shit out like most women do, bring out shit later on. Okay, he becomes seasonal. Because women are the ones who mostly change. Women are the one who usually get divorces and shit like that because they were materialistic from the start. They were superficial from the start. Most men, they just can't do things because they have more of a heart. Okay, and this is the problem for most men. I try to get men to be cold-hearted and shit. I try my best to help them to be as cold-hearted as women, so women can evolve to a better person. Okay. Because if the women are corrupted and they're taking advantage of good men, what do you think is going to happen? There's going to be a pathology to it. And women are going to suffer, like back in the times of the witches' Salem. Okay, when women were seeked out, and anybody who was into religion or any kind of witchcraft or into some kind of science, they were hung or burned. And it's going to turn like that eventually because of the MGTOW movement and everything else. But I'm telling you right now, what else is to say about have diversity, open mind, and the diversity? Study yourself first. This is the most important thing, you women, because if you don't have a father figure to teach you how to study yourself, you're lost. I talked to hundreds of women overseas, and I realized that if they're missing their father, they already lost half the battle with me. I don't even give them a chance. But this is important to learn from men so you can know what men like. Because you already know men have more hobbies than women, okay? If I have you as my wife, you're not just going to be sitting in the house. You're going to be active with me. Fuck the kids. You're going to be active with me so we all can be together. The order is man, woman, and child. But effeminate people, they switch that around and put it children, mother, and father. But it shouldn't go that way. Because the Bible clearly, I don't believe in religion, but it does say the man is first, okay, the head, right? You don't cut off the head. The mother and the father, but the child will die, okay, right? So you're not supposed to cut the head. The head is supposed to be first priority. And if you're the type of person that put the child first, you're lost. Okay, and I understand how mothers protect their sons and their children and stuff like that. But what about the father? He's not second class. He's supposed to handle all of that shit. And if you do everything correctly, and you know you're not in the wrong, then kudos to you. Okay, but 9 times out of 10, okay, you have to start studying yourself. If you don't know yourself, you shouldn't get any relationships. So when I teach my daughters this, I said the trick is to learn what you desire and what you want first by stimulation. That means you have an idea by being on the internet, social media, and stuff like that, communicating with people for quite some time before you get a chance to know them. Understanding what your psychosis is, because there's no sex when you live with me. Because my daughters won't be able to socialize with people and shit. They'll socialize. I would allow her to socialize on the internet a little bit, but I gotta monitor everything. But daughters are a little harder to raise than boys. Because with boys, you want to try to encourage them to have some girls, girls do polygyny and shit and start a family in a big way. But girls, you got to do that. It's a different complex system, completely different. But that's all I really wanted to say, y'all women and men. It's good to study yourself, and then test yourself with a relationship. Test yourself. Imagine yourself with someone who has OCD. Imagine yourself with someone who has schizophrenia. Imagine yourself with someone who's bipolar. See how far your tolerance level is, and then take it from there. Be diverse in fucking relationships, and you'll go far away. You'll go really far away. That's what I do. So when a female leaves, she usually put that on herself. I'm not to blame. I did all the things I did. Okay, and somebody asks me if a third person is looking at me and 2 people, you automatically say she's in the wrong. I guarantee you that, because I've explained myself clearly from the beginning. Okay, and then you'll be looking at her. Didn't he tell you this? And I was like, I'm gonna say nothing because I've explained myself from the front. Always put things on the front. Learn about yourself before you get before you learn about anybody else. Learn about yourself. Peace. This is up to 20 minutes. Hope you learned something.